Welcome to Giro Della Donna. This is a weekend-long cycling festival held in the beautiful high country town of Marysville. There are 3 events over the weekend: the Gravel Giro on the Saturday morning, the Criterio Crit Race on Saturday evening, and then the main event, the Giro Della Donna on the Sunday, which is a big 140k road fondo. Alright, Gravel Giro 2024. So we start in Marysville and head out of town on the Buxton-Marysville Road. We then turn on to the Eagle's Nest Road, which is where the climbing begins. From there we turn on to Mount Margaret Road, and the climbing very much continues all the way up to Lady Talbot Drive, which is the highest point of this route. Then we pretty much follow Lady Talbot Drive all the way back down to town. So elevation profile is one massive climb and one big old descent over 44 k's. This makes for a pretty strange event, and there's no doubt that the Giro Della Donna on the Sunday is the main deal here. Alright, I've just registered, so heading back to the car to drop some stuff. It's bloody hot. It is. I mean, it's probably only 26, so, but we've just come out of winter in Melbourne and yeah, it feels hot. I'm a little bit worried though. I've been a bit sick, still feel a bit NQR. Just hoping to finish these events, have fun, and enjoy the surrounds. I think there's going to be a bit of a vibe here this weekend. Looking forward to it. In terms of fueling today, I've just got one flask with 135 grams of carbs in it. And then I'll probably just fill up this 600ml bottle with plain water with a electrolyte tablet in it. So yeah, trying to learn from my dirty warning mistakes. So running the Crux today, got my road shoes on, road cleats, just a bit more efficient. Also back to the standard row bar wheels, so I've got them back in action, which is great. Thank you Bike Gallery for sorting that. Tom,
hey,
how you going?
Yeah, good mate.
How you feeling today?
I'm feeling fresh. Been doing riding last week.
Nice. Good luck.
Thanks, mate. You too.
And with that, we were rolling out right on Mark Renshaw's wheel, which was pretty cool. So we were neutralized rolling out of town. We rolled some turns on some bitumen. Then eventually we turned onto the Eagle's Nest Road, and that's where the pain began. This climb on bitumen was steep, and it wasn't long before our selection was kind of made with the stronger riders, with Tom and Murray being amongst them. But it was this point, right on the steepest part of the climb, that disaster struck. I dropped my chain over the back of the highest cog on my cassette and it went into my spokes, so I had to jump off, pull it out of the spokes and try and get started again on this super steep climb. I tried once to get going, but my bloody road cleats would not clip in, and I had to fully stop, clip in properly, and then it was basically a max effort to catch up with that front group, which really cost me dear. Finally back on, I was able to let the heart rate calm down a little bit, and the group eventually thinned out to just 3 of us, and then just Murray and I. I know Murray from mountain biking. I knew he was super strong, and I knew he'd be a super strong descender, so I had to stay with him on this climb if I was going to have any hope of a good result. But he was so strong. I just couldn't hold his wheel. I wanted to reel him back in, but that was not happening, and eventually let him go. Then we came to this super sketchy tight corner, and I almost went into the bush, and a few others did behind me. I had a feeling that might happen. Then we got onto the road that we would spend the majority of our time climbing on. You can just see Murray up the road in the distance, tantalizingly close, but oh so far. And it was just an exercise in watching Murray disappear as I tried my best to hold as high power as I could. I was in second place though, and I was pretty happy with myself. I couldn't see anyone behind me, so it was just a matter of holding this position. At this point in the race, I'm 12 k's in. I'm still second on the road, but I could see someone gaining on me. Turns out that someone was old mate Thomas McNish. I dropped him earlier in the climb, but he'd played it smart, saved his energy, and slowly had reeled me in. So then it was just about holding his wheel. But little by little, Thomas crept away from me as my power numbers dwindled. A little word of warning, you're about to witness me in a bit of a state. Oh god, I'm in a real way. Tom's dropped me. I'm looking behind me, struggling to hold
250 watts at this stage.
I regained some composure, backed off the watts, and started to feel better again.
All right, finally the gradient's backed off a little bit. Feeling a bit of a breeze. I think there's another little climb to come, or maybe not so little.
Finally, I was done with the climbing for a little bit and I was able to enjoy some descending. But then soon enough, the road headed back up again. This second climb was a lot shorter though, and it was over pretty quickly. And that, thank God, was it. I was at the top. From here, it was all about consolidating third spot. The people at the top of the hill told me that Tom was 2 minutes ahead and Murray was 3 minutes ahead of him. So there's no way I was going to catch him, and it was not worth risking a crash on this descent. Then it was all about enjoying the sweet descent and just making sure I stayed on the road. I did have a few close calls, but I got down unscathed and no one caught me. Descending on gravel on a gravel bike is still a skill that I really want to master. It really is very different to road, and it's also different to mountain biking. It's different to road in that you can't pick the perfect line coming into the corner. Sometimes you just have to stay on a certain side of the road because the gravel's too loose. And then it's different to mountain biking because you're on a gravel bike. You don't have flat bars, mountain bike tires, suspension, and mountain bike geometry. My biggest problem is that sometimes I overshoot corners because I'm coming in too hot. I'm still working out what equipment works best for me. I put bigger, faster rolling tires on this bike, and the bike still has its stock handlebars which are wider when you're in the drops. But anyway, I know I'm not the only one who sometimes comes in a little too hot to a corner on a gravel bike.
Skid mark. Tom, I got no doubt.
Another thing I noticed about racing in general for me is that I'm a person who likes to race people. If I don't have people around me, then my motivation to really push hard kind of wanes. I kind of start to lose concentration and drift off.
Hectic.
Anyway, I got down unscathed and actually ended up recording the second fastest time ever on this segment.
I can't believe I'm third on the road. I'm like blown away. Just gotta hold it. Just gotta hold it. Fuck yes, I'm so happy.
I rolled down Lady Talbot and into town and crossed the line in third place. The race took me an hour 42 minutes and I finished about 3 minutes behind Thomas and another 3 behind Murray.
Oh boy, let's gotta find some shade. How'd you go?
Good.
Too strong for me on that climb, mate.
Yeah.
Buddy, I went too hard early, I think.
Yeah, you were powering, especially after your chain dropped.
Yeah, I was real keen to catch back on to that group and probably cost me really.
Yeah, I sort of just had a number that I was trying to sit on.
Yeah.
I sort of figured it out a couple of weeks ago and then just was hoping to stay there, keep drinking.
Yeah, I noticed you were drinking more and I wasn't able to drink. And I knew that's when I was like, ooh, this is bad. I can't drink.
Yeah.
Tom can.
Yeah, massive test that hill.
Oh man, and that gravel was like so loose.
Yeah.
Once I caught my breath, I went and got my camera and interviewed some of the riders who'd just finished.
Yeah, that was good. It was really hot, long climb, and very long climb in fact, and pretty rude start. And it was really like not much shade, no wind. And then as we got near the top, it got a lot cooler and quite a rocky descent. But just beautiful out there. Really great event, and lots of support. Nice to see lots of people around too enjoying themselves. So it's going to be a great weekend.
Did you almost come unstuck on some of those gravel descents? I almost did.
No, because I was going way too carefully.
Yes, good.
Yeah, my teammate Daniela caught me on the descent. Peddler racing, and I couldn't hold her wheel. She was flying, so I just took it carefully. It's nothing worse than coming off.
I know.
So.
Yes. Well done.
Thank
Good
you.
job.
Thank you.
Yeah, so this was my first race back since a big fall 6 weeks ago and I had a concussion. So for me it was all about just maintaining my heart rate in a safe zone so my head didn't ache too much going up that climb. It was long, but like a lot of races, there's always a group in front that begin to splinter, and as they fell back I just tried to pick them off one by one. But the climb went on for a very long time. Beautiful condition though, the road was in amazing condition. and then up and over the top, then it's just fun. That descent was wonderful. The only thing was I wasn't quite expecting those little kickers in the descent. I was kind of hoping to just be able to roll home, but there were a few little kickers that tested the legs and just made you aware that there were still people behind you that were dangerous. But all in all, a really great race, a really nice route. I'd done the Giro Della Donna gravel from the other side a few years ago, and it was pouring with rain and we all froze. And today the challenge was to stay hydrated. But a couple of bottles and we're home, but all good.
Nice, good work.
Thanks.
Then Brandon from Simpatico Bikes introduced himself and gave me a little tour of his steed.
You got a prototype here?
Yeah, it's the bike where we like to test stuff on. So we've got our classified hub that we coded for last year's Spoken Show. So that's got a 1140, obviously with the 0.7 drop down the classified, so with a 48 tooth chainring. That gives you a 48, 31 with a 1140 at the back, so pretty rounded. 2-inch tyres on there. In future we'll make it go bigger, keeping road Q factor. Yeah, and we've been testing the Cane Creek invert fork on the front, which has 30mm of travel with lockout as well.
How much does that weigh?
I think it's 950 grams, so cost of a bit in weight, but yeah, so works really well.
Then it was lunch with my good mate Jason and time to prepare for the Criterio. Videos on that and the Giro Della Donna itself will be coming soon, so please subscribe if you haven't already. Lots more awesome content to come.